Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, groomer Joey Villani, news director Lori Brooks. And now, from the Red Barn Studios, here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
Well, I honestly didn't know there was a fad for tattooing or piercing of pets, but apparently there is. And in Joyzy, Assemblyman Carmela Garcia is going to be joining us. He's trying to push through legislation to ban pet tattooing and piercing.
Do you remember a long time ago, a few years ago, that girl was doing the gothic kittens?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
That's what influenced that, in fact.
I don't like it.
That's horrible.
I don't like it at all. I got to be honest with you. Tattooing for ID is one thing.
Right.
When they tattoo a pet, they let them know that it was been spayed in case it gets lost or something like that.
Right.
But actually to put some sort of art on a pet's body, that they really don't have any say over it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
They're beautiful enough. They do not need enhancements. They're beautiful enough.
Well, I'm looking at a picture right now of a Chihuahua with stud earrings, and he doesn't look very happy. I'll tell you that right now. Dr. Debbie, what's all that all over your coat?
Yeah, it's anal gland material, and I have to tell you, the laundry, I'm still working on laundry here at work. So
you got to do laundry there, too?
Well, when the unexpected happens, yeah, so I've been blessed today. So, it is like, for Catholics, it's kind of that time of the year. So, yes, I have the anal gland blessing. It's the veterinary blessing that gets squirted all over me.
Oh, my gosh. That's you that smells, too, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I take full responsibility for that odor.
Let's head to the phones right now. Hey, Kitty, welcome to the show.
Hello.
What's going on?
Well, I have a cat that is too fat. She doesn't groom herself. And I was wondering if I could get her shaved instead of, messing with the hairballs and having her brushed out, because I have to take her to the vet. And they have to sedate her and then brush her out because she won't let me do it.
So she doesn't, she's not happy being groomed either. Is that correct?
No. And she bites me if I try to do it.
She bites you if you try to do it. Okay, so that's something, believe me. A nasty cat is a lot more dangerous than a nasty dog. They have a lot of types of bacteria in their mouth, and when they bite you, sometimes it could be pretty nasty. Is it a long or a short-haired cat, first of all?
She's long-haired.
Okay. And have you ever had a groomer work on the cat?
No.
Okay, what I would try, not that I'm trying to take anything out of the veterinarian's hands, but sometimes in a grooming salon, a professional groomer, because they do it all the time, may have a lot more success removing the knots and tangles. Now, depending upon how serious they are, would really determine, if they could remove them or not. A lot of times the cat, though, even though it seems like this hopeless, if you take your time and you have two people work on the cat where they take their time and the cat's not stressed out, a lot of times you can work it out. Now, can you clip the cat down? You absolutely can. But my question to you is, did you ever do that before to this particular cat?
No.
Sometimes what happens is when you clip cats down short, because there really isn't, you don't have much of a variation. You either have to go real short or you got to leave it full coated. And that's only because of safety reasons. The blade that you have to use on the cat cuts to 1/8 of an inch off of the skin. So basically it's bald. What happens is a lot of times the cats know that there is a change. They don't know exactly what it is. And sometimes we'll go into a state of depression where they'll hide or, just not want to see anyone because they're embarrassed of what has become of them. Even though they don't know exactly what it is, they just know it's a change. If you do have to do that, the most important thing is you don't want to laugh at the cat. You don't want to change anything, because believe me, they know if they're being laughed at. They know if it's if it's a different situation. So if it has to be clipped down, I would use it as the last resort. But I would try your professional groomer first for a couple reasons. I wouldn't want to sedate a cat unless I really, really had to, only because it's not real, it's not real good on their system. And the groomer will tell you within the first 10 minutes of the grooming, either call you up and say, well, listen, please come pick up your cat. We can't do it. And then in that situation, you'll have to go to your veterinarian and do what's ever necessary at that time. But if you get a good cat groomer, a lot of times they'll put two people on the cat. One holds the cat where the cat can't bite or scratch the other one. And after a while, if you take your time, sometimes they calm down a little bit, especially if it's in an environment where there's no dogs barking and it's a little bit quiet. And they'll calm down and sometimes like the professional grooming. And the good thing about that is it also may make the cat like to be brushed at home and, break that whole cycle.
Okay, well, I'll try that.
Okay, unfortunately, I wish I had a miracle spray that I could tell you about, but there's not. It's just just brushing and combing. And, I would try that first, and hopefully they can help you out there.
Okay.
Thanks for your call, Kitty. This portion of Animal Radio is underwritten by Red Barn. And during these uncertain times, Red Barn is grateful for the consistent love and joy our pets bring into our lives. They're also grateful for their all-natural, long-lasting dog chews. Now diligently working alongside their pet parents, your dog deserves a break in between video chat appearances and lap sitting. Red Barn Chews are the natural way to distract your dog during the day or give their paws a break from typing up emails. Thanks, Red Barn, for underwriting Animal Radio. And guess what? Our next caller, her name is Glee. Hey, Glee.
Hey, Hal. How are you?
Doing very well. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from West Virginia.
West Virginia. Okay, very beautiful.
I've talked to you before.
You
It's
have?
been a while.
Has it?
I recognize your voice, Glee. Yes, we've talked to you about your birdies
I thought
before.
You did.
So what's going on?
Well, I have two parakeets. Their names are Spinelli and Maxie. Spinelli is almost 3 years old. Maxie is a year old. They're doing their little dance and the preening for the breeding. He'll go over to the breeder box. Sometimes she'll go over, sometimes she won't. And what's going on that they're not wanting to breed, or what can I do that maybe can help them with getting them to breed?
How long have they been together?
They've been together almost a year.
Alrighty. Because the most important thing is that we talk about pair bonding, and it's kind of like throwing two strangers together and asking them to be a permanent family unit. So it can happen, but it helps if they have kind of that connection. So that's very important in the birds for breeding
right
as well.
Off the bat.
That they have that, or they don't?
They do. They have that connection. I was afraid that when I got her that he wouldn't like her, but he actually, right off the start, as soon as I put her in a cage, he started connecting with her. Good.
And we're certain we're dealing with a boy and a girl. That's always important as well.
Yeah, dealing with a boy and a girl.
Okay. And we know that because of the color of the cere. So you got your boy with the dark blue cere.
Right.
And the girl's got the
light.
The whiter tan. Okay, perfect.
You have the Barry White and the lighting right? You have the Barry White CD on in the background and the lighting kind of dim, right?
There's no wine and...
They love the TV.
Oh, they love the TV. Oh, well.
They love
the
TV. I actually named them after a couple people in General Hospital, and when that show comes on, they literally go berserk.
Oh, how funny.
It's their show.
Oh, well, maybe we ought to get him watching daytime soap operas. That might be the thing to make a love connection here, Well, I guess some guidelines that we talk about when we're trying to get little parakeets to breed, and you may be already doing these things. So I put these on your checklist. Make sure you are or aren't doing them, and hopefully we can get everything ideal. If not, sometimes you can't make it happen. Sometimes I'll actually have other breeding pairs in the same room because that kind of gets the hormones flying and may mean that we have a better breeding situation if there's others in the same area, going on the nest and having babies there. So make sure your temperature in the area, we want to keep it around 65 to 75. We want to cover the babies at night, probably about 12 hours of darkness would be best. And then in their enclosure, because we're going to be asking the mom to be making eggs and we want good calcium and vitamin D, using a full spectrum light. So similar to that you will find in aquariums, so in pet stores where you have reptiles that need vitamin D.
Oh, okay. I never thought of that.
Yeah, so that can be helpful. Now, for birds that are housed outside, they're getting natural light. That's not a problem. But for indoor kept birds, this is something that we can help enhance and is very important for vitamin D.
Right.
So I would make sure we do that. And then you've got the nesting box. We try to not disturb them, give them their privacy, try to keep them on a schedule, clean their cage about the same time, and kind of let them do their thing.
Is there something that I was reading something for pine chips that you could put in the box? I tried string and they ate that.
I didn't hear what you said. What were they, chips?
I've heard of pine chips putting in the box.
Yeah, no, I actually just use good old, shredded newspaper. I think that's probably one of the easiest things. It's tidy, and they have a good time with it as well. So,
right,
yeah.
Now, is there something I could be feeding them? I've got a mineral block. I've got their conditioning seeds and everything. Yeah, what's them? They don't like fruits or vegetables at all. They're very picky.
That would be nice if we could get them. So, a lot of times we'll have to just stick with the fortified seed mixes that parakeets are kind of raised on in pet stores. If we have them on a pelleted diet, we got a little bit more bang for your buck when it comes to nutrients. If we can't get fresh veggies sometimes I'll get creative and make like little birdie cornbread with veggies in it and see if we can convince them that way. Yeah, so you can just, make small little muffins, take a good mix of different green vegetables, or even sometimes some of the frozen vegetables are fine to get started with this, and just kind of make that a little treat for them, and hopefully we can kind of trick them into getting a little nutrients like that in there. So
we wish you the best of luck with that, Glee, and all of our romantic wishes are going your way.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Portions of today's show are a repeat from an earlier broadcast.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service. Better care. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. That's 800-434-5019.
Hi, this is Justin Silver from CBS's Dogs in the City here on Animal Radio, just reminding you to always stay new to your pets.
Live at the Red Barn Studios, you're listening to Animal Radio. Here's Hal and Judy.
Just a few minutes, we'll talk to Assemblyman Carmela Garcia, who wants to outlaw or at least ban tattooing and piercing of your animals. Just in case you were thinking of getting that studded earring for your kitty cat.
Don't do it.
No.
Yeah, think twice about that before you do that there.
How about a nose ring?
Yeah, no nose ring. Can't do that either.
No enhancements. They look beautiful the way they are. Leave them alone.
They sure do. I'm with you there on that, Tammy. Hey, Tammy, what are you working on in the newsroom anyway?
I got another one of those warnings, and it's one to just keep in the back of your mind about the heartworm medication, Trifexis. There have been some dog deaths, and the FDA is keeping an eye on this. So if you're going to use the product, got to keep your eye on your animal. Okay. Really important.
We'll find out more about that in just a couple of minutes with Tammy Trujillo when she does news. Hey, Tracy, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for taking my call.
Be thankful you're on that side of the phone.
I don't know. When you hear my problem, you might not think I'm so grateful.
What's going on?
Oh, okay.
Well, I have a twofold problem. The biggest at this point is my cat, who's probably about 10, 11 years old, has been well behaved all the way up till maybe last year, and now he's missing the box. He won't. He was pooping outside the litter box, not urinating, but he's defecating outside of the litter box. And I noticed there's some sort of pattern as well where when I'm coming home in the morning, I open the garage and, he's just done his business. And, I clean it up, I feed him, and I go on about my business, and I hope it gets better, and I scoop the box, and then he does it again.
Okay. And is he pooping, in relation to the litter box, where is he pooping?
Well, the litter box is in a guest room that has no bed or anything, but has carpet that's no good anymore. But sometimes he goes behind the box, like if I've freshly scooped the box. It's as if he's hiding behind the box. Sometimes it's in the middle of the rug. And the room is relatively small.
Okay, but it's not happening in other parts of the house. It's happening in the room where the litter box is. And there's only one box there?
I'm sorry, say again?
It's not happening in other rooms of the house.
It's not. The room is gated, though, because I have two Springer Spaniels that are indoor dogs, and they'll eat cat food. So I've gated that room off so that he can jump over the gate, and his food's on that side, which is kind of strange to me. I would think he wouldn't want to poop where he eats, but I don't know.
Okay. All righty. And is he the only kitty in the house? And this is the only litter pan in the house?
It is, and he is, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, the number one thing when I hear of a kitty that's pooping near the box but not inside it, and they are using the box for urinating, number one thing I look at is the actual litter environment. So the actual, how nice is the bathroom in the cat's sense of the word? Because a cat that is defecating in other parts of the house, we might be thinking other issues going on. But he's got the idea. He knows where the box is, and in many cats, they'll poop just a few feet away. And it's kind of like they're saying, I almost want to use it, but I'm not going to. So the things that I really look at is we want to give him alternate litter sites, and we want to kind of play around and give him different options for the litter pan. So number one is if you got a cover on your litter pan, I would take that off.
Okay.
I experiment with different substrates. So some kitties just don't always like what we offer them. So there are the different clay litters, the scoopable litters, the recyclable product litters, all of those things. We need to vary that. And you may need to offer a little smorgasbord of litter boxes in this room.
Okay.
Normally, I will also give a litter box site somewhere else than where the primary box is. And if you can do that with having the dogs around, I would encourage you to try, just in case there can be, for some kitties, they have an aversion to a location. So say something bad happens, he's pooping in the litter box, he has some pain, maybe has some blood in his stool, he has a negative experience. So he says, ooh, I don't want to poop back there because something really bad happened when I was doing that. So in those cases, they can actually think, I just need to go somewhere else and everything's cool and nothing bad happens. So if that's the case, a different site can really make a difference in the psyche of many cats there.
Okay.
But I would say that would be pretty much how I would handle things. Now, for a kitty who's in the double-digit years, sometimes I look at things like other medical problems that can be going on. And arthritis in a kitty that age isn't unheard of. So sometimes getting into the box can be an uncomfortable thing. And again, they can associate something uncomfortable with the defecation or the urination in the box. So maybe a good checkup would be wise. And for old kitties that have signs of possible arthritis, I use glucosamine for them. And it can really make a difference with some of these behavioral problems where we think it's just a cat that's pissed off and doesn't want to use the box. And it could really be something medically. So pooped off, or however we should say it.
Okay.
I think that's some strategies I would certainly try for this little guy.
Okay, sounds good.
Tracy, we thank you for your call today.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
This portion of Animal Radio is underwritten by Fear-Free Happy Homes. Don't forget you can get your fix of Animal Radio anytime you want with the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android. Download it now. It's made possible by Fear-Free Happy Homes, helping your pets live their happiest, healthiest, fullest lives at home, at the vet, and everywhere in between. Visit them at fearfreehappyhomes.com. And thanks, Fear-Free, for underwriting Animal Radio.
Hello, this is Jane Goodall on Animal Radio. And I'd just like everybody to realize that each day you live, you make some difference on the planet. and you can choose what kind of difference you're going to make. And hopefully every day you'll try to make the world a little bit better for people, for animals, and for the environment.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-451-4807. 800-451-4807. 800-451-4807. That's 800-451-4807.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
And I'm Tammy Trujillo, and there are more worries again about the dog heartworm medication Trifexis. So far, 965 complaints about dogs dying after taking Trifexis have been filed with the FDA over the last 3.5 years. According to its own label, the most common reaction to Trifexis includes vomiting, itching, and decreased activity for 1 to 2 days. The drug's maker, Elanco, says it sold 70 million doses, and it's found no link between the pill and any dog deaths. But the FDA says it's continuing to monitor the drug, and it's urging anybody whose dog has suffered an adverse reaction to report it to both the drug maker, Elanco, and to the FDA. Well, we all know pets can be expensive. Boy, can they. But they sure are worth it. Anyway, add pets and moving, and things can really get pricey. Apartments.com did the math in its pet-friendly renting trends survey, and wow, did things add up. The survey included some 3,000 people across the U.S., and it found that close to 80% of renters had to pay a deposit to have a pet, and it was more than $200 a year in more than half of the cases. 64% of the people asked said they had a hard time finding an apartment that allowed pets even with a deposit. And people who had a large dog, well, they were the ones who had the toughest time finding a place to live with their best friend. I'm Tammy Trujillo. Get more breaking animal news anytime at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Find us at animalradio.com. Log on, learn more.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too. From the little land of leprechauns, shamrocks, and bees, a 59-year-old Irishman tried to break the world record for bees on a body. Philip McCabe poured on about 200,000 bees while wearing only underwear, a back brace, and goggles. But the bees didn't behave. They kept jumping off, even though McCabe was wearing the queen bee on his chin. He also lost some bees when his feet fell asleep and he had to sit down. McCabe heads the Irish Beekeeper Association, and his record-breaking attempt was part of a campaign to raise money to help fight poverty in Africa. He missed the world record. It's 350,000 bees, just in case you want to try it. But McCabe is planning to try it again next year. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio. Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
It seems our heroes come in all sizes and shapes, and they're helping some animals, few animals, lots of animals. They're just all over. And if you have someone, know someone that is doing great work for the animals, going above and beyond the duty, could be for a single animal or for many animals, please let us know at yourvoice@animalradio.com. This week's hero of the week is Deborah Jo Chiapuzio. What's that? I don't know.
I'm sure you get this all the time.
I do. Deborah Jo will do. Thank you very much.
I like the last name. I love Italian names.
Chiapuzio.
Chiapuzio. You just have to say it very loud.
I'll go to a restaurant and just order Chiappino just because I like saying that. You are our hero of the week, young lady.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That's a fabulous honor. It really is. I see so many people who do so much good work out there, and I've felt like I was just one person, so...
You know what? Sometimes just one person is all it takes because it makes a big difference like you have and what you've done. I'll tell people, let's tell listeners about what you do with the pet oxygen masks and the Emma Zen Foundation.
Well, the Emma Zen Foundation started off with myself wanting, as an individual in a community, wanting to make a difference just for my own pet. And I learned that there was an apparatus called pet oxygen masks, and it was something that you gave to a firefighter or a first responder, an EMT or a paramedic. In the cases that there were home fires, that our first responders would be able to save our pets, because as it is right now, all they can do is lay a human mask aside the pet. And when I found out about that, I thought, well, I want my pet to be safe. It wasn't really that much money. The kits were only $75, and they only had 17 trucks in Anaheim. That didn't seem like too far of fetch outreach. And I went ahead and did what it took and did 6 months to just make sure my pet was safe. And what I found in that 6 months period was everybody who was our friends on social media, they all love their animals the way I did, and they said, I want my pet to be safe, too. Now emergency preparedness is something we never think about. I mean, we all live here in California. Do you have your pet emergency kit or even your human emergency kit?
No.
So these oxygen masks, are they primarily just for animals that are involved in fires, or is it for other reasons? And I guess, what is the difference between a human mask and a pet oxygen mask?
The way we are distributing them, they are allowing the firefighters to resuscitate the animals. So more often than not, that is for fires. The difference is the contour to them. Our human mask our face has very little contour. So it's just sort of like putting your hand out in front of your face. The human mask is very, very flat. And so that doesn't fit on a muzzle or a snout. And the masks that we have this nice rubber seal on the base of something that's very cone-like shaped. And when that seal goes over the snout, it closes those jowls very tight and makes it so that the fresh oxygen can only enter through the nostril. And that's actually a simulation of proper pet CPR. We do something that's called mouth to snout versus the pinch the nose and go through the mouth for the humans.
Well, what about pugs? They have the flat. They've been chasing parked cars. The bronchocephalic. Aren't there faces?
There's different shapes. There's different shapes.
Yeah. There are different shapes, and the human mask would probably work a little bit better on a pug than any other dog, but the pet oxygen masks still also work on the pugs and other flat-nosed breeds.
Who's Emma Zen?
Who is Emma Zen? Emma Zen is officially my little biker dog.
Okay.
She came from the local shelter. She was lost her home from the fires, and I pulled her out of a shelter. We believe, is half Labrador and half Great Dane. She looks like about a 110-pound lab. And if you look at emmazen.com, you'll see her in all of her glory in her sidecar. I ride a motorcycle, and I fell in love within a few days of having Emma live with me. And so I did what all good bikers do, and I bought my dog a sidecar, and 38,000 miles later, we're still on the road.
Am I correct? You have another pet that rides with you?
Yes, we do have a new pet. The poor little thing is only a year old, so she is more in the 2,500 miles. But I'm thinking she's going to get a little bit more attention since she is really a Vietnamese pot-bellied pig.
Oh, awesome. And she wears the goggles while she rides in the sidecar?
Yes, we do. We wear goggles and little bandanas, and that's a lot of what we get to talk about in our foundation because, while I know that looks just adorable and too cute going down the road, we really do it for a purpose. You don't want those eyes drying out. Because
it's
you
very
have
responsible.
Whole new health issue there. We don't want too much wind going into the ear canal, so we cover them up with something, and it just happens to be that the bandanas look really cute. And we drink Pedialyte when we're on the road, so we don't get dehydrated.
I'd love to see you through my neighborhood.
Now, you also, you're certified in pet first aid, and you teach classes.
Yes, we do. We have classes that are local to Southern California that go on. We usually have about one a month. We're having a pet first aid class at a place in Santa Ana called Buff Dog, and that's on October 25th. And we have one in November on the 8th in Huntington Beach, and that's at your animal's best friend's doghouse. So I have a website called doggyandme.com, and we always advertise them there. And the foundation has just started a brand new pet safety series. So we're going to take one topic a month for the 12 months of the year and talk about different topics every month. So at Amazon Foundation, you'll be able to get a little bit of information on it, and perhaps maybe some of your listeners can join us.
That's what I was thinking. I think we should hook up with this young lady here on her monthly topic and post that over at our site and talk about that on the air. Can you make that happen?
I will make that happen.
For those listeners that wonder what goes on behind the scenes, you're actually seeing it right now. We're actually forming an idea and booking the guest.
Exactly. That's exactly how it works.
Yes. You're doing wonderful work. And the website, one more time, is doggyandme.com. And that's I-E, D-O-G-G-I-E, and spelled out ANDME.com. And we'll put links to everything you've heard over at animalradio.com. Also, check out the website. Also, check out AmazonFoundation.com. As I said, all the links to today's show over at animalradio.com. Deborah Jo, thank you so much for all the hard work you do.
Thank you very much. The call is appreciated. The recognition is appreciated. But I really do it because this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. And it went from a me thing to many of us, including yourselves, to get out the awareness out there. And if you don't think you can make a difference, you can. And if you need to start somewhere small, come join us. We have all kinds of volunteers opportunities, and we can get you on your feet and send you out there. And hopefully everybody can make their own difference a little bit at a time for the pets in this world.
See what one person can do?
I'm not going to say anything after that. That was awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. Be well, Deborah Jo.
Thank you. You too.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Streaming TV is where it's at. It's not about cutting the cord anymore. That's old news. It's all about your customized TV options. With the best and cheapest high-speed internet and your own TV subscriptions, we've got your dream TV lineup. Between wired and satellite internet and TV, you now have tons of options. Save money and get more internet speed and better TV today by calling the Whole Home Connect. We scan your location and offer you the best TV and internet options. And we always have specials and promotions. So when you call, ask about that. Take 5 minutes of your time. Make this free call now and learn how to save money and get better internet and TV for your home anywhere in the U.S. Make this simple and free call now.
800-617-5145. 800-617-5145. 800-617-5145. That's 800-617-5145.
This is
Animal Radio, baby.
Looks like in just a few weeks we're going to have Joyce DeWitt on the show from, you remember her from Three's Company?
Yes.
I love that show.
Didn't you?
The dark-haired one.
Yeah, I thought she was actually cuter than the Suzanne Summers, the blonde. Everyone went for the
Everyone,
blonde.
was Gaga over Suzanne.
Yeah. What about you, Joey? You probably like Suzanne Summers.
Yeah, of course. I mean, no, Janet was cute.
Yep. Janet was her name. Very good.
I forgot.
Remember
yes,
that.
I would never know who Joyce DeWitt was. It's Janet.
Okay. Oh, this story just came across my desk about shepherds in Turkey have now outfitted their sheep monitoring donkeys with solar panels and battery packs to illuminate the nighttime isolated fields. So there's now solar-powered donkeys. Thanks for that article there, Judy. I appreciate that. But it's really time for Joey now. And so don't distract me with that kind of stuff.
I forgot.
Okay,
I forgot all about it.
Hey, Joey, what's going on?
Well, I want to talk about the difference of trimming nails with a nail clipper or a nail trimmer, whatever you want to call it, or a Dremel or a grinder. Because you know what? First thing I'm going to say is I don't think that anyone should really be cutting your pet's nails at home. Either go to the groomer or go to your veterinarian.
Why?
For a couple reasons. Number one, you want to have the pet in a safe environment where the pet is basically, hooked up right or held properly, not where they're going to jump around and get injured or actually injure you, because, most dogs and cats don't like their nails trimmed. Okay, now if you're one of these people who, just want to experience the whole experience of it, want to try it, or know how to do it, well, there's two things. If you get a nail clipper, you got to make sure that you buy something that's a pretty good quality. When you go to the store and you buy a cheap nail clipper, what ends up happening is usually the first cut you end up splitting the nail, okay, which then makes the chip and also could actually split it right down to the quick, which is what's going to make them bleed. A Dremel or a file works a little bit easier for home use because it's not going to split the nail. And if you take your time and go little by little, you can actually just grind it down to where it needs to be, where you can start to see that quick peek through. Now, one thing, most people like to go out and buy a Dremel that you would go out and Dremel, furniture and make carvings with. And it's not the Dremel you want to use because there's not a safety shut off on it. And what I mean by this is when you have something that's turning at whatever it is, 5,000 RPMs, and it grabs a piece of hair or a tail or a lip, it's going to pull it right off. Okay, so what you want to use is something that's made for pets, that when a little bit too much pressure is actually applied, it's going to shut down, basically, or it's going to slow down, where it's not going to injure the pet. And you know what? Some pets like it, some pets don't. But what I say is if you want to get your pet used to it, turn it on and just pet your dog or your cat and just, let the sound, because it's more of the sound than anything else, and just take your time.
Hallelujah. Joey, I got to say that tip about not having pet owners trim the nails, a lot of people want to do it, and they start the phobia. They do it improperly, and then we have pets that are fearful of having their feet handled, and it makes a future of horrible nail trims.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had that. I've had it where we had someone that tried to, trim their pet's nails, and they cut them all the way back. And the dog was bleeding profusely, and the woman was screaming on the phone, didn't know what to do. I told her to bring it in. And we applied a little styptic powder and stopped the bleeding. But the dog was traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess I lucked out because I do ladybugs, and she gets a little nervous, but I try to stay calm. Judy holds her and tries to stay calm, and for the most part, we get it done. And we realize that we don't have to do all of them at one time. We can do like one paw, although we do. If push came to shove, we do one paw and then maybe another paw later, We don't want to freak her out because we don't want it to be a bad experience. And then as soon as we're done with it, I give her a little bacon treat so she knows that something good's coming afterwards. Oh, there you go. Joey Villani, ladies and gentlemen, the dog father on Animal Radio.
Hey, it's Vinny Penn, your party animal, coming at you on Animal Radio, and glad to be here. Hope you're glad to be listening. One saying that I've got to tell you, it may be true, it may not be true. I always encourage the Animal Radio listeners to shoot me an email at vinny@animalradio.com. But even if this is true, which I would really find that hard to believe, I'm sick of hearing it. And that's the saying, hey, dogs' mouths are cleaner than humans. My two beloved dogs, I always gave them kisses on the head, playing with their ears, and them I never really did. I'm going to come right out and say it, the French kiss with my dog, or the full-on, their tongue lapping at my lips kiss. I never really did that. When I see people doing that, I'm always just... Especially after you've just seen the dog, in particular, spend a good 20 minutes giving himself, quite frankly, I'll come right out and say it, a genital bath. And the person says, oh, come on, the dogs' mouths are cleaner than humans. I'm finding it hard to believe. Is there doggy scope? Has anybody, can I go to a pet's? I haven't been in a while. Is there doggy scope? Is there doggy floss? I know my two dogs didn't get up in the morning and brush their teeth. So how is it possible that this dog who just ate a lizard, lapped at his own crotch region, and maybe even ate his own feces or licked another dog's butt, his mouth is really cleaner than your own, you're saying. If that's the case, then might I suggest you just have all of your teeth and your gums removed. Just stitch your mouth up, because if your dog's mouth is cleaner than yours, then yours should never be allowed to be open again. Urban myth? dog's mouth cleaner than a human's? Gotta be. Vinny Penn, party animal, on Animal Radio.
You're listening to Animal Radio. If you missed any part of today's show, visit us at animalradio.com or download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of uncertainty lurking under your hood. You know the feeling. I know I do. That sudden sinking sensation when you see a check engine light or your car unexpectedly breaks down and you're faced with sky-high repair bills. It's time to shield against unexpected repairs with CarShield. CarShield is America's most trusted auto protection company and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't let the fear of a breakdown keep you up at night. Trust the Shield, CarShield, and say goodbye to terrifying repair bills and hello to peace of mind. Your plan also comes with 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental car options, and so much more. Don't wait till it's too late. Call CarShield now before a breakdown. Protect your wallet. Protect your car with CarShield. Get our best protection ever. Call now. You'll thank me later. 800-987-0618. 800-987-0618. That's 800-987-0618.
Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, groomer Joey Villani, news director Lori Brooks. And now, from the Red Barn Studios, here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
Coming up this hour, we're going to talk to a lady who represents Standard Pacific Homes. Is it Standard Pacific Homes or just Standard Homes?
Standard Pacific Homes.
And they actually have 27 developments out of all of their developments that are building pet-friendly housing. Actually building these houses for your pets that include spa stations and beds and all kinds of
specific washer and dryers for your pets.
Wow, that's
TVs.
TVs for your pets.
I want one.
Yes. Why do the pets need the TV again? I keep forgetting that.
Entertainment. It keeps them really... My Nikki loves watching television. It doesn't have to be animals. She just likes the movement.
No, I think that's leading to the degradation of our youthful canines, as it has for the humans.
Well, they're going to be couch potatoes. They aren't going to be out there playing with their bones.
They're going to be fat and obese.
And
oh, my gosh.
No, can't do that. No. I want the TV removed from my new house. That's all I'm saying. So that's on the way. And also, we're going to be talking to a guy who's an Assemblyman Carmela Garcia, a Democrat of Hoboken, New Jersey. Hoboken. I just love that name. Hoboken. And he's trying to ban pet tattooing and piercing. Apparently that is a problem. And we'll find out more in just a couple of minutes right here on Animal Radio. Yes.
I used to live about 7 miles from Hoboken, 8 miles from Hoboken.
And you are tattooed and pierced.
And I'm tattooed. No, I'm not pierced. I'm tattooed.
Oh, really? Not pierced?
No piercings, huh?
No, I'm not a piercing guy.
No? Needles scare me. Tammy's working hard in the newsroom. What do you got coming up this hour?
I've got a story for anybody who's missing their dog, whose dog has been lost. Do not give up hope. I'm going to tell you about a lady, Lashina Harris from Memphis, and it's been a long time, but her beautiful bulldog puppy is finally home. So if your dog's out there somewhere, don't you ever give up hope, because that dog may be coming home.
Oh, very, very cool story on the way, I have a feeling. Here's a fun story out of Chula Vista, California. 2 San Diego County women had to get help from police after being trapped in a bedroom by the family cat.
The cat?
The cat, yes.
Ooh.
Yikes.
The neighbors call the cat a ball of fury, and Chula Vista police tell us that a woman and her adult daughter called 911 Tuesday to say they were stuck in the bedroom because their cat, Cuppy, was in a rage and wouldn't let them leave the room. Police.
Wow.
You know what? I had a cat like that, and I was a teenager, and I would come home from my dates, and the cat would be sitting out in the front yard, and the cat would not let me go up to my front door.
Really?
Oh, he'd come after me on the sidewalk. I'd run back out to the street. And I would end up throwing rocks at my parents' window so that they could get up and open the door because the cat would not let me in the house. No, he was like
This was your cat?
Well, he was a cat that actually we kind of felt sorry for him, and we took him in because he just showed up at our house. So we started feeding him, and he just hung around the yard, and he was bonkers.
I had an experience like that when I had a grooming salon in Morristown, New Jersey. And the parking lot was across the street. I mean, it was a February, real cold. It was one of the coldest days I can remember. And the next thing I noticed, something like rubbing against my leg, and it was this cat. So Oh, the poor cat. Let's say, the cat can't stay out. The cat's going to freeze. So I took the cat home that night. When I got the cat in the house, the cat turned into a maniac and was attacking me. But like for real, was biting and scratching. But everywhere I went, it would look at you and charge you from across the room and grab your ankle and bite.
Crazy cat.
Yeah.
Well, in this particular case in Chula Vista, police say such matters are really usually left to animal control. They usually call in animal control and those kinds of things. But they decided to help out on a quiet night, apparently. I could imagine them I hear the radio conversation now, as you can probably in your head. They eventually say the cat walked out on his own. Yes.
They didn't have to handcuff him?
Didn't have to handcuff the cat. The neighbors say that the cat has been a family pet for years, but is unpredictable. The same thing happened in Portland, Oregon. A family went through a similar ordeal with their cat, Lux. If you attacked the baby and then boxed his owners in a bedroom. That was about a month ago.
Yeah. Not too long ago.
So. You know what? That's a cat. Even Jackson Galaxy, I know, looked into that one. And he even threw up his hands on that one and said, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, my cats, they're different. My cats usually don't even give me the time of the day. They look at me like I just asked them for a ride to the airport or something like that. Hi, Mel. Welcome to the show.
Hi there.
What's going on?
We have a chinchilla. It's probably about 10 years old, and she's pretty much stopped chewing on things like she normally used to.
Okay.
And it looks like her teeth are getting a little longer.
Okay.
She does still eat, like her regular food and hay, but, she's drooling a lot and seems to be drinking a lot more water.
Oh, okay. She is drooling, so she's getting a little stained on her face with that?
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know if it's just because of the way she's drinking and drinking a much, it seems like a lot more.
All right. Now, normally people with rodents would say, oh, my God, they chew a lot already, so it's good when they don't chew. But in this situation, especially since you were describing that she's having drooling, gosh, I'd say the number one thing we need to do is a good dental exam on her. The front teeth, the incisors are one thing, but the back teeth, the molars in chinchillas as well as rabbits can really be a huge problem. They are continually growing and they continually wear the opposing teeth down. If they start to get little spikes and overgrow in aspects, that creates cheek pain, or it can even entrap the tongue. So it can be quite serious. And if we're giving up on some of those chewing items or some of the different hay items, those are some of the first signs that I say that we need to get a good look inside that oral cavity and evaluate those teeth. Many chinchillas do need to have their teeth trimmed, so getting a good look is part of it, and then doing any kind of dental care that we might need to trim the teeth, or heaven forbid, if there's any bad ones that are actually creating abscesses, then surgically extracting those would be the way to proceed there. But I'd say definitely the first thing I would do is get a good look inside that mouth and, make sure your veterinarian's comfortable looking at chinchilla mouths, because they are little interesting little critters and they got a lot of crooked little teeth in that mouth, and it can be very overwhelming if they're not comfortable with that.
Got it.
They're soft, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
They're beautiful.
You guys make love out of them.
They do make love.
Oh, no.
Not this one.
What is their normal lifespan, Dr. Debbie?
Actually, your baby sounds like we're already pretty much in the older years of chinchillas. So, yeah, I do see them living 8, 10, 12 years. But certainly hope that your baby sees many more years beyond that.
Let's go to Danny. You want to go to Danny? Let's go to Danny. Hey, Danny, how are you doing?
Hi, this is Danny from Orlando, Florida. Hey, got a question on a 10-year-old Shih Tzu I have.
Okay.
We took her for the first time to the groomer yesterday, and after she got home, she was, licking her parts and constantly, in pain. All night, she spent crying and crying and crying.
Now, did you say 10 years old, and this is the first time she's been groomed?
Yeah, so usually my wife does it at home.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, how in the heck does that
No,
happen?
usually my wife does it, but this time, for some reason or another, we decided to take her to the groomer to do a better job.
Okay. All right.
But
gotcha.
The dog's been in pain for the last 24 hours. I could tell that it's red around her areas. I went to PetSmart and got, some ointment for burns, but is it something that's normal? Should I take her to the vet?
Well, it kind of depends. And presuming that you've got some clipper irritation there, which is not uncommon, there are pets that certainly have very sensitive skin and are more prone to that. Or for pets that have a really close clipping, say if you've got matted areas or you're going for that close summer cut, you might be more prone to getting clipper irritation, especially in some of the delicate areas like, the genital areas, the armpits. Those can be really sensitive when they get the clippers that just kind of rub up against the area. So if it's a mild abrasion, so if the area is just red and kind of what I would equate, so no worse than like a skin knee, then I'll often use like a topical over-the-counter steroid cream, just kind of like a cortisone type thing for people. But it becomes a challenge because a lot of dogs become so obsessed, they're so itchy scratchy that they can make these type of areas much worse very quickly. So it is important that we either find some way to relieve their discomfort, or at least if it's a localized area, we can put like a Elizabethan collar on, a cone on, to keep them away from that, because repeated licking at those areas will definitely set in bigger problems. So it's hard to say without seeing your baby, but a topical cortisone cream might be a realistic thing. Sometimes I'll even use an oatmeal shampoo as just kind of a soothing thing that you can try at home. But if she seems like she's really that uncomfortable, it might be worthwhile to get her over to the vet just to see if they need to give her some pain medicine or get her on an antibiotic sometimes.
What do you think about that groomer there, Doc? Do you think that perhaps they shouldn't go back to that groomer? I mean, doesn't it sound like that's a groomer problem?
Not necessarily, because it can really depend on what the goals were with the grooming. And that's why I say if a pet is matted and they are kind of have no choice but to do a close clip, it's a function of the matting or what the desired clip is. So for me, if I have a dog that this happens to, I like to have a heart-to-heart with the folks and say, maybe you don't really want to keep him that short. We'll go with a longer clip or ask the groomer to use a longer blade next time. And then if it's something like the pet is really matted, then it's just a matter of staying up with those grooming frequencies. But there are some dogs that, just they could have a lot of sensitivity. And if you think about it, especially for ladies, if you're shaving those delicate parts, when that hair grows in, it naturally itches. So, if you got a little close clipping, for a dog, it's easy to understand how they can be irritated and develop redness. So I don't often blame the groomer. I've only run into some truly bad groomers just infrequently. So.
Okay, so I guess I'll try the collar and some cream, see if it gets better, because she has been licking a lot. So I think the collar might be a necessity.
Yeah, and definitely it is individualized. So if it's a single area, I'll often treat very conservatively. But if it sounds like what you're describing, it's kind of all over, she might be a bit overwhelmed with the areas. So I'd encourage you to have her looked at.
Sounds good. I appreciate your help.
Hey, no problem.
Hey.
Let us know how that turns out, okay?
Thank you very much, guys. Have a great afternoon.
Danny calling from Orlando this afternoon. Appreciate it.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Find us at animalradio.com. Log on, learn more.
I never really understood the value of having a good credit score until I started to make a few purchases recently. Then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Because my credit score was in the 600s. I was borderline getting denied on my new apartment. And guess what? My new car payment is about 30% more. Having bad credit can even affect your credit card rates. Having a good credit score is important to your financial future, and you can save a lot of money. Call the Credit Pros right now. In a free phone call, we can tell you exactly how to improve your credit score. Plus, learn about our 60-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not happy after 60 days, we'll give you 2 months free. Make this free call right now for a free consultation and free credit review. 800-292-6156. 800-292-6156. 800-292-6156. That's 800-292-6156.
Oh, what did he say? He said, we're all across the USA, the most listened to pet show today. Animal Radio, we're everywhere you go. Animal Radio. Animal Radio.
Hey, Susan.
Yes.
I understand you wanted to talk to Dr. Debbie.
Yes, please.
She's right here for you.
Hi.
Hello there.
Can I Hello. What can I help you with?
Well, I have a cat and a dog. Both are 2 years old, and both are pretty inseparable. They just enjoy each other. The dog suffers only recently seizures. She's never had them before, and we've tried, from food? No. Anything. We tried to think of things that we had done differently, and nothing. Well, she has them 2 at a time, and they're sporadic, meaning they can be 1 week apart, they can be 4 weeks apart. And there's no rhyme or reason for them. And some of them are very mild, and her latest one, which was actually last Thursday, which was a big surprise, which was about 5 weeks after the previous one, it was a grand mal. I mean, she even screamed.
Okay. And does she typically have grand mal seizures where she's kicking, paddling, doing that kind of thing?
Yes.
Well, I mean, sometimes we honestly don't always find a reason for seizures. And has she had any kind of tests? Has your veterinarian done anything to kind of evaluate things?
Yeah, he's done the blood test and everything, and he says that as long as we can put her on phenobarbital or something like that. We choose not to put her on any medication, but he said she's not causing any problems to herself. It's just that it's an ugly thing to have to go through.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure, yeah. And I think the decision to go on an anti-seizure medicine can be tough for some folks. And if the seizures, and my guideline is if we have more seizures than once a month, I really look at it for several reasons. One is that we can't always be present every time a pet has a seizure, so there is a self-injury potential if they're happening, regularly.
Right.
The other is that seizures kind of have a kindling effect. So basically, one seizure can make it more likely for the next seizure to come on, and that can in itself be problematic because it just feeds, if you will, the tendency for more seizures to happen. So if we're having frequent ones, especially clusters, I would certainly consider the idea of putting your pet on an anti-seizure medicine. And, phenobarbital is the one we use most commonly for pets with seizures. And there are some alternatives beyond that. But usually to get a pet regulated, most veterinarians will use that. And then we'll talk about trying alternative therapies like there's a drug called Keppra. Potassium bromide is another one. And some of those have lesser side effects or more favorable side effects depending on what's going on for the individual pet. But I would say that I would certainly consider that a little, maybe a little more seriously than you might, just with that frequency. Once every 5 weeks isn't a lot, but 2 seizures every 2 weeks would certainly be enough that would get me concerned. Okay. And you didn't say what area of the country you're in.
I'm in Middle California, right smack dab in the middle of the state.
Okay. Well, you're kind of in my area. For seizuring pets out here in the Nevada area, one thing also amongst the many things that we'll do to evaluate potential causes, we'll even look at the fungal disease called valley fever, which it can potentially in some pets cause seizure disorders, as well as things like thyroid issues, which in many cases we'll look at as well.
That's kind of prevalent in Central California, isn't it?
Yes, the San Joaquin Valley. And but yeah, areas like Phoenix, even Nevada and other parts, other states, was still a concern, so might just make sure that has been screened for.
Yeah, which I've actually had that.
You yourself have had it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well then, definitely.
Yeah,
so
I was pretty bad.
Holy cow. Well, that's like a testimonial. So yeah, I would go and knocking on your vet's door and say, hey, by the way, did you check my dog for this disease? And I think that would be a very sound thing to screen. Because in those cases, yeah, obviously you would treat the old underlying disease and, make sure we treat that effectively. So, and you said you had a kitty concern too?
Yeah, he is outside a lot, which is okay, but his problem is he is really skittish. I mean, I've heard of scaredy cats, but this guy takes it to the limit. Aww. He was feral when we first got him at kitten, and he is attached to family. He's attached to us, and he's very attached to the dog. But he is really, really skittish. I thought maybe his eyes were not focusing properly because he would run from us until we talked to him, and then he'd stop, but then he would run anyway. But he does come up to us, and we can pick him up without any problem, and he is really, really friendly, but he is super, super skittish, and I've never seen a cat that's as skittish as this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's, not uncommon. Some of the ferals make an easy adjustment into the inners of the household life. Others, kind of retain a little bit of that wild, settling that they start off with. And, if he seems like he's comfortable with your interactions, I think that's wonderful. The things that we watch for when a cat is not at ease, certainly the ear posture kind of pinned back. Sometimes they'll dilate their eyes and get kind of big and wide-eyed. If you're seeing those kind of cues, it's probably best to just kind of disengage, not go for the physical contact and just kind of save him that anxiety. And if he's the kind of kitty that just only likes a little bit of human contact on his terms, then I just accommodate him for that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we've done so far.
And always use food to your advantage. So a hungry cat is more likely to want to be around a human and to have us, in their life. So that is always a good positive association to kind of tie towards the human contact. So you heard me say it. Feed your cat. Treat him.
Okay.
Susan, we wish you the best of luck.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hi, this is Paul Reiser, and you're listening to Animal Radio. Every minute you're here, you're not harming someone else. I don't know what that means.
Do you have a debt problem? Well, now you can finally do something about those collection calls. You can only avoid your mail and the phone for so long. That's why you need to call the Debt Solutions Network. We have agents standing by right now to assist you with your debt problems. Credit card debt, collection accounts, medical bills, and repossessions. Call now for relief.
800-245-1583. 800-245-1583. That's 800-245-1583.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Tammy Trujillo. Remember when we thought that a tweet was a sound a bird makes or friending someone meant getting to know them? Well, get ready for a whole new language courtesy of a new app that helps pet owners connect with friends, acquaintances, and even willing strangers to take care of their pets when they can't. It's called Doggy B&B, and it aims to let people take advantage of their existing social networks. The company's co-founder is Adam Pokornicki, and he calls it a world unto itself, complete with its very own language for certain tasks. For example, you can post a woof. You can volunteer to help with pet care using the fetch option. And you can declare to yourself a boarder willing to take on pets from friends and even friends of friends. Well, here's one of those stories for anybody searching for their lost dog. Don't you ever give up. 8 years ago, Lashina Harris's white English bulldog puppy named Fat Cat was stolen from her backyard in Memphis. Fat Cat was chipped, had collars, tags, the whole 9 yards. Lashina put up posters, put up ads, rewards, everything, and nothing. Nothing happened until a few weeks ago when she got a call from an animal rescue group in West Memphis, Arkansas. Fat Cat had been dropped off at the shelter by somebody who said that he'd found her wandering on the highway. Whether that story is true or not, who knows? Fat Cat was in terrible shape. The vet said she'd been used up as a breeder at a puppy mill. But she's on the mend, back with her family and with Lashina and her now 14-year-old son, who was only 6 when Fat Cat went missing. Lashina is now helping spread the message. Don't ever give up. Get your pets chipped and put a GPS locator on their collars. That is something that did not exist when Fat Cat disappeared. We are all so thrilled that Fat Cat is finally home where she belongs. I'm Tammy Trujillo. Get more breaking animal news anytime at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
Check out Animal Radio highlights, all the good stuff without the blah, blah, blah. Browse on over to animalradio.pet.
Hi, I'm Ed Asner. You're on Animal Radio. Spay or neuter your animals, you dummies.
Portions of today's show are a repeat from an earlier broadcast.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Being told to remind you that you can download the Animal Radio app, the iPhone and Android Animal Radio app. It's a free download, and ask your questions directly from the app, as well as listen to past shows. In just a few minutes, we're going to talk to Assemblyman Carmela Garcia. He's a Democrat out of New Jersey who's trying to ban pet piercing, and tattoos.
I think that's a great idea to ban
I
that.
didn't even know there was a problem with that.
I think that's horrible. I'm sorry. Tattoos are a personal decision, not something you should make a statement with your pet.
One of the news stories Tammy did about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked about the homes that are being built specifically for people with pets.
That's awesome.
They include spas and all kinds of things.
Mhm.
I guess, a lot of people are remodeling their homes, so it only makes sense that people that are building homes or people that are in any business are trying to figure out how to get their portion of the $60 billion pet industry. Whether it's a car manufacturers are trying to make their cars, whatever it is. And now Standard Pacific's homes, I applaud them. They are now selling homes in 27 developments from Florida to California. I believe the first to offer a pet suite. And I have somebody on the phone. I guess it would be Danielle. Hi, Danielle. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Is it Tocco?
That's correct. Danielle Tocco.
Danielle Tocco, you're the Director of Communications at Standard Pacific Homes. What a genius idea. Was it your idea personally? I have a feeling it probably was.
I wish I could take credit for such a great idea. It was actually a very collaborative process, I must say. At Standard Pacific Homes, we're a national builder, and we're constantly talking to our homeowners about what's important to them in the homes. And so really where the idea came from was in talking to our customers and our homeowners, finding out, pets are a very important part of the family.
Sure.
70% of Americans are pet owners. And so really the impetus of it was to help enhance the lives of our homeowners and create a space for their furry family members. It helps kind of help our homeowners stay organized as well. So it's a space dedicated completely to our furry family members. It has a puppy wash station. It has a plush bed, a flat screen TV.
What, a TV?
Yes, exactly. It does.
So they can watch DirecTV's Dog TV, I assume, or something like
Animal Planet.
Animal Planet.
Exactly. They had a long day playing in the sun. There's a little French door they could come run in off the side of the yard and hop in their little bed and watch a show if they'd like to.
Now, is every suite the same, or do you customize them to whatever specific somebody wants in general?
That's a great question. They're not all the same. We've just begun to introduce these. So you mentioned earlier they're in about 27 of our 190 communities across the country. So some of them have the puppy wash station with the bench seating. Most of them all do have a bed. We have some with customized cabinetry to help keep all the toys and treats and dog feeders and automatic waters, all of that organized. There's also some that come with a stacked washer dryer so that you can help. It helps keep the laundry needs of your pet separate from the humans within the home. So it's separate from the household's washer and dryer.
I see the pet spa, and I don't know if you've talked about that yet. It adds $35,000 to the price of a house, and I'm trying to think, if I was remodeling a bathroom, that's about what it would cost to remodel a bathroom.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, that price is very, like I said before, the size varies and what's included in the spa varies. As a home builder, we have various communities across the country, and the sizes of those homes are a wide range. So, for instance, one of our new communities is called Avignon at Blackstone, and it's in Brea, California. And the homes there, they start at about 4,500 square feet. So
wow.
The space, so they're rather large. And the space dedicated to the pet suite is 170 square feet. So the price associated with that would be approximately $35,000. Whereas in other communities, where say the home sizes are, maybe they start in the 3,000s, the pet space starts closer to 50 square feet, and the price range is about $6,000. So it's a range depending upon the size of the homes within the community.
You've specifically talked about dog accoutrements or accessories. What about cats and other animals?
Birds.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a full-on pet suite, and so the homeowner is able to personalize the space based on what types of pets they have. So you can add a scratching post or whatever your cat may want, and as well as I think it's specifically geared to dogs or cats, so you can also have goldfish or hamsters, whatever type of pets that you have can stay in this space. But I think what's really unique about it is that puppy wash station, so that it creates a space within the home dedicated just for that. So you don't need to worry about your your dog running through the home wet, or having to give him a bath in your own shower or in the sink. It's really just for the pets.
Okay. Good stuff. We can learn more over at the website at standardpacifichomes.com. If you already own a home and you're planning on selling it, think about adding one of these additions to the house to attract a buyer, perhaps like a laundry room that has turned it into a mudroom or whatever it may be. That might
You're
be
going to think I'm crazy, but we're doing that. I'm actually trying to put a dog bathing station in, because I almost broke my back last weekend bathing my dog outside, bent over. So, yeah.
So where will you put that? Will that be
an add-on, or you're going to
in a garage? We're going to have like a garage add-on and put that in a little, storage area, grooming table, all that kind of stuff. Just because, it really, you don't want the hair of your dog in your own bathtub. So you want to have a special drain, and that's where all these, costs go along with the bathing equipment. You have to have the right stuff.
I just want to say, if Standard Pacific is looking for somebody to test one of these homes,
Test
we
drive
have
homes.
Animals. We would be glad to take one off your hands and do a review. Just keep us in mind, please.
Definitely. I know. I want to add myself to that list as well. These are just really top of the line, state of the art. I love it.
They sound great. Thanks for bringing this to our attention today. Danielle Tocco, the Director of Communications at Standard Pacific Homes, joining us. And the website, once again, standardpacifichomes.com. Of course, links to everything you've heard on today's show over at animalradio.com.
That is so cool.
Isn't it? And my husband and I have designed in our mind the perfect dog-friendly house. So it would have like the gates that pull out of the wall, so that you wouldn't have to put up doggy gates. Because now that I have senior pets, you kind of want to limit their access if they're having accidents. So that would be in my design.
I think that's a good idea. Keep that thought.
Kind of patent it.
Yeah.
I think my dog needs more than 60 square feet, though.
Your dog may.
My husband actually wanted to turn one of our guest bedrooms into the dog room, and he wanted to get a dog race car bed. And the guests were supposed to sleep in the same bed that the dog slept in any other time. And I'm like, no, we're not getting a dog race car bed.
You put your foot down, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Well, I'm sure that my entire home fits into, probably both you, Joey, and Dr. Debbie's bathroom. Probably combined.
I don't think so.
Oh, I bet it does.
Yeah, I'll trade you.
Yeah, this is a closet, seriously.
Need a fix of the good stuff? Get more Animal Radio with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hi, this is Elaine Boozler on Animal Radio. Spay and neuter your pets and some of your exes.
I would love to go on vacation, but I don't want to leave our Charlie behind.
I agree. I heard that the magazine Fido Friendly lists places where you can stay with your pet. They also offer reviews so you have an idea about pet policy to include any restrictions, fees, and what pet amenities to expect.
That's, dare I say, awesome. What are we waiting for?
I'm way ahead of you. I just logged on to FidoFriendly.com and found a 4-star resort. Hilton Santa Fe Resort and Spa at Buffalo Thunder in New Mexico.
Charlie agrees. When do we leave?
As soon as you can pack your bags. It's off to adventure with Charlie, thanks to Fido Friendly Magazine. To find your next family adventure that includes your furry family friend, log on to FidoFriendly.com.
You're listening to Animal Radio. If you missed any part of today's show, visit us at animalradio.com or download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Right now, we're going to hang with Assemblyman Carmela Garcia.
Yes, hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Great, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
I see you have a bill to ban pet tattooing and piercing. What inspired that?
Well, first of all, I love animals. I have 2 dogs myself, and we have been getting some constituents who have noticed some really weird, but yet for vanity reasons, apparently some tattooing on a dog in particular. That's the first one that had come to my attention, and that was disturbing. So I felt the need to immediately look into what kind of bill we can establish that would prohibit, anyone from tattooing or piercing an animal, which would create mutilation and animal cruelty.
Yeah, did you see this lady who was selling gothic kittens back in, it was a couple of years ago?
A couple of years ago, yeah.
That was scary. Yes, indeed. Yes, that case was really, an eye-opener, and I think that there's a lot of weird fads that get started, and we definitely don't want this to be one of them.
Who are the people that don't want you to put this through?
Well, there's of course some folks that feel that you have like the veterinarians, which I understand, and we've requested to amend the language where for tattooing and microchipping purposes, they would like for those type of feral animals to be tracked, and that's one of the things that we've considered and we've accepted. And of course, branding for farming animals, which we had already inserted in the bill to ensure that they are protected and allowed to do that.
Dr. Debbie, have you seen any animals like this in your office? Any tattooed animals?
I've seen them on local news. And, the thing that bothers me, I think, the most when we talk about ear piercing with animals is that when girls or women get their ears pierced, it goes in that floppy little lobe part. But a dog's ear has got that firm cartilage. So if you know what it's like to get your upper ear pierced, it's a totally different sensation than getting the lobe. And plus they do have, vessels that can be very sizable in the ear. So there's a potential for serious bleeding if it's not done properly. So I have to say that I'm just so opposed to the idea of cosmetic tattooing and piercing, for all of those reasons. And plus, think about how dogs play, ripping, their piercings out. It just sets up so much for the pet to injure itself.
Yeah, not only just by playing, but on purposely ripping it out because it's irritating.
Yeah, that's really weird. Okay, so where does this go next? Where does this bill go next, and when will it be passed? I think it will, right?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we've gotten great support from, animal rights groups. The reality is it is animal cruelty, and we even had another constituent report a particular piercing, as the doctor just noted, on another animal that was just, unbelievable. Because what happens is sometimes with these, in the pit bull world, right,
Yep.
where they try to breed these dogs to fight, they mutilate them afterwards, the loser, from what I have understood. And it just saddened me that, in fact, they do this type of piercing as well to kind of show that this is the losing animal. And right now, where it stands is we're putting it out already. It's going into committee, and once it's navigated its course, I'm pretty confident that it will become law, because I think all of us that love animals understand the need to protect these animals. And I will do everything humanly possible to ensure, and as a legislator, that these animals who don't have the right to consent or a choice can definitely be protected in this way. We don't want this to be another weird fad that people think it's cool and that dogs and animals are this type of toy or doll that they can basically take advantage of. This is just not the way it should be for vanity reasons. And this is why we're going to push this thing through, and we're going to advocate strongly, and hopefully we can get you guys on board, to share this news and get more people to write in and, tweet it and, Instagram it and Facebook it and talk about, the need to really get this trend going to protect these animals, where this model legislation can really ensure that they're protected.
Do you have any tattoos or piercing?
I do not. No, I do not. So clearly, and in my household with my children, clearly that's something that I will. Art is art, but I don't think when it comes to animals for vanity reasons who cannot have that choice, they should be, mutilated or in any way, given a tattoo or a piercing. It's just animal cruelty to me.
No, they did. They didn't.
Agree.
They didn't ask for it themselves.
That's right. No,
I feel the same way about the giving of the blood too. They didn't ask for. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago.
People take their
donating their
for
blood. They didn't ask the animals. They're getting a sense of gratification for something that they didn't really do. But in any case, I agree with you. I'm 100% behind you here, and we will try to get the word out as best we can. Now, is this kind of prolific in the Hoboken area or any parts of the country? Because this is like the first time, other than that gothic kitten, that I've heard of this. Or are you just really trying to nip it in the bud before it becomes something prolific?
I believe twofold. We've gotten some cases reported to us. Officially there hasn't been one, in the state, but the reality is that we know how it goes. It exists, and we have had cases reported to us, and we are looking into them further to demonstrate that this is happening, and we're afraid that this may become a fad of some sort, because some people just, again, look at animals as, these toys or dolls that they can, do this to, and it's completely wrong. And I appreciate the support from you guys. Really honored to be on your show, and I think that we will get this through to ensure that it nips it in the bud, and that people understand the consequences to these kind of actions, and that we don't want children to be taught that this is something that is acceptable when it comes to our loving animals such as any dogs and cats.
Very good. Thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. We wish you all the best of luck. Let us know how that goes. Assemblyman Carmela Garcia from the district office in Hoboken, New Jersey, joining us. Well, it has just flown by once again, as it usually does. It seems like we just walk in and all of a sudden it's over with. I want to thank Danielle Tocco from Standard Pacific Homes, as well as our hero of the week, Deborah Jo Chiapuzio, and Assemblyman Carmela Garcia. You guys are all awesome. If you want to reach us during the week, feel free to ask your questions directly from the Animal Radio app. It's a free download for iPhone and Android, as well as listen to the show and delve our. Wow, I'm glad it's towards the end. I really am. As well as listen to the show, and as well as listen to the show.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, see ya.
Just cut our losses.
This is Animal Radio Network.